Problem A says which figures appear to have two or more lines of symmetry? Two or more. Two or more. That's the important part. Before we start to check these, what are lines of symmetry? Who remembers what that is? What was symmetry? It was the first thing that we started talking about when we were talking about shapes. What was symmetry? Nobody can tell me what symmetry was? Hasn't been that long, it's been a few days. Bradley, what's symmetry?
I think it's a length between two lines.
It's not length because we don't have to measure symmetry. You do have you've got part of it. Symmetry does have to do with a line, but it's not how long the line is. Jaylene? Jaylene, what's symmetry?
I think it is like when two lines are symmetrical,
Yeah, but what does that mean if they're symmetrical?
like they're the same like size and they look the same.
That's not a bad way to explain it. But symmetry doesn't just have to do with lines. It's shapes. But you're right. Symmetry is when you have a shape, and if you draw a line that you can fold or that you can cut, if you would have two pieces that are the same size or the same shape. Who remembers what that word was? There was a word in math for same size, same shape. What was that word? It started with a C. Okay?
Congruent?
Congruent. So symmetry is when I have a shape, if I can draw a line, find a place where if I draw that line and I were to fold that line or cut that line, I would have two congruent pieces. Two pieces that are the same size and the same shape. Well, let's see. Figure R looks like a star. Are there any lines or any ways I could fold that star and end up with two congruent pieces? Two pieces that are the same size and the same shape. Normally, when I think of lines of symmetry, I start thinking either vertically, which means up and down, or horizontally, side to side. Jadine, what do you think? Does the star have any places, any lines we could draw where we'd have symmetry? What if I draw a line here? And hold on. I'm going to use a ruler just to make sure my line is straight. What if I draw a line there? That's congruent. Alexa,
Oh, I was just gonna say that I think that symmetry is like left and balance.
it is kind of like if something is balanced. Whenever you would draw the line and fold it or cut it, you're right. It'd be kind of like it being balanced because both sides have to be equal. I can't have like a big side and a small side. Now, there's more than just that line of symmetry. With a star, I could make a line there, and I'd have symmetry. I could make a line right there and have symmetry. I could make a line here and have symmetry. Or I could even make a line right there and have symmetry. So a star has a lot of lines of symmetry, a lot of places where if I were to cut it or to fold it there, I'd have two congruent pieces, two equal pieces, or balanced, like Alexa said. Okay. So figure R, we found a good amount. Our question wants us to find figures that have two or more lines of symmetry. My star had one line, two lines, three lines, four lines, five lines, because this is part of line number. So I can't count that again. There were 5 lines of symmetry. That's definitely 2 or more. So whatever answer choice I pick has to say figure R. Figure R, figure R, figure R. No, figure R. I've gotten rid of one answer choice. That star has 5 lines of symmetry. That is definitely more than 2. What about this next one? Figure S. Does figure S have any lines of symmetry, any lines that if I drew them, I could use it to cut them or to fold it? And I'd have 2 equal sides. Are there any lines of symmetry for figure S? Huh? What if I did this? I'd have 2 equal sides. There's a line of symmetry. But what if I try to draw a line like this? Is that a line of symmetry? Jaylene?
No,
No, why not?
because all of them are different shapes.
Because the top only has 1 arrow and the bottom has 2. It's a very different shape. So figure S only has 1 line of symmetry. Just 1. But my question says that they want shapes with 2 or more lines of symmetry. So, should figure S be on my list? No. So if my answer choice says figure S on it, I'm going to get rid of it. Figure R, figure S, figure R, figure S. Well, I was able to get rid of 3 answer choices, and there's only 1 left. Answer choice. I still want to check the other figures just to be sure. But figure D, I'd have one line of symmetry. Because if I folded that shape, I'd have two equal sides. But I can't fold my shape this. Because one side is flat and the other side is round. So if I tried to fold them there, I wouldn't have two equal sides. They wouldn't match up. They wouldn't be congruent or balanced. So figure T only has one line of symmetry. Figure U got a line of symmetry vertically, up and down. Both of those sides would be the same. If I drew a line horizontally, I'd also have symmetry. The top and the bottom are the same. What I would not be able to do is put lines diagonally. I couldn't do that and find a line of symmetry on figure U. So it only has 1, 2. But it still belongs on my list, so I was right. Now, something you can do if you're ever not sure, if you draw a line on a shape, you're trying to decide and you go, oh, I don't know if it has symmetry or not. I don't know if it's the same or not. And here's what I want you to do. I'm going to use figure D as an example. Okay? So I draw my line here. And I go, oh, you know what? I don't know if it's a line of symmetry. Take your fingers and put one on either side of your line. So I've got one on the top, one on the bottom. And then using my fingers, I'm going to trace the shape. And I can see that my fingers are doing the same. Almost like if my fingers were facing toward a mirror. They're doing the same things to trace the outside of the shape. So if my fingers are doing the same thing, then I know that I have symmetry. If I notice that my fingers are doing different things, so if it was something like figure S, if I notice that my fingers are doing different things, then I don't have symmetry. If I tried doing the same thing with figure S, my fingers start off doing the same thing, but then they start doing different things. See, this one's already back at the line. My bottom finger still has a way to go before it matches. So if you're not sure, if you draw a line on there and you go, oh, I don't know if it's really symmetry or not, use your fingers to trace the lines and see if they're doing the same thing. If your fingers are doing two different things, then it's not symmetry. It doesn't have.